What is up, my viewers? Spang here. The game just started a little unexpectedly on me, but that's not too big of an issue. As you can tell, I have another viewer-submitted replay, this time from Minnow. He just asked if I completely ignore the ZV at the end of his name, and so I'm pretty sure I'm saying it right at this point. And as you can see, he is platooned up with two of his clanmates. I've actually noticed I'm getting quite a bit of replays from the SVK2 guys, so hey, thanks for the support. Obviously your clan has, at least some of your members have started following me, and I greatly appreciate it, but enough of that. If you could not tell, this is standard battle on fjords, the only type of battle on this map, and this is a very artillery heavy match. Each team has 4 artillery pieces, 2 tier 7s on the enemy teams and 3 on his, and then you got a couple tier 6s, but still very very heavy artillery. I like how his team's artillery is spreading out nice and across the top of the map. That gives them very good coverage across most of it. Lets them really just bombard pretty much everywhere. Now, his team actually doing a pretty strong push in the north, but the enemy coming pretty strong through that center path. Not really sure if his team will be able to stop that. And it is a tier 10 match, but with only 2 tier 10s per team and quite a few tier 9s. I think the tier 9s are really going to be the deciding factor in this. If artillery doesn't have too much to say, and with this much artillery, you never know. Now, what will happen here? There is a tank destroyer to the north, not really sure what that is, and also a tank destroyer pushing along the south. His team being very smart along that southern pass, not really pushing around it and staying safe from artillery the way they should be, in my opinion. They are staying artillery smart and not going around that southern bend and letting themselves get lit up and destroyed, as so many tanks often do. Now, you just saw an artillery tracer, Minnow not really looking in the right spot for that, taking a random shot, kind of just guessing at where the enemy is. Now shooting and moving, because as you saw, his friend just got counter artillery, so that is definitely something he wants to be aware of. Now, did he see that tracer? It looks like he didn't quite. He must have just missed that. If you were paying attention, you would have seen a tracer just a bit north to those trees right there, and really that would have been an opportunity for a counter artillery kill if that artillery stayed in its spot, which there is no guarantee of that. The enemy team starting to push around the south, and that northern push apparently getting stopped dead in its tracks, with his team having absolutely nothing watching that midfield area. So really, his team's kind of exposing artillery to unnecessary danger at this point. And that VK4502 not quite within his sights. If he is a little to the more to the west, yes, a little more to the left of the one line, then he would be able to support that. Now a center push coming, and we'll see if the enemy team decides to kind of do a coordinated assault, as it were, and by that I mean pushing that center path as well as the bottom, and it looks like they are. So this team has some coordination, or so it would seem. That 4502 kind of exposing himself. Now will Minnow shoot and move? That shot not really doing a lot, but yes, he is shooting and moving, kind of necessary for the apparent counter artillery that is happening. Now that center path push really kind of going unopposed, kind of trying to make a break for his base. That T-32 running into some resistance, but I'm not really sure what that heavy tank is. His team apparently still pushing that northern edge. Not really, the enemy team not really being able to stop it all that much. It is a Tiger 2 that is attempting to stop that T-30, as well as that artillery piece attempting to basically go tank destroyer mode and kill that T-32. The T-32 barely being left alive. Will Minnow finish him off? Yes, he will. There we go. So stopping that, saving his artillery a little bit of grief. Kind of saving his own behind there, you know, keeping his own armor alive. That T-34 trying a flanking maneuver, but the southern push didn't really push as hard as they needed to. That 4502 definitely got himself killed, and I think that southern push either backed off or got itself killed. I was too busy paying attention to what was happening near the center and in his base. Now, enemy artillery apparently not realizing he's been spotted, not having sixth sense, and not being aware enough to really take the to get his behind out of there. but apparently it's of little consequence because he still is completely clueless. Either that or he is AFK. Minnow shot not hitting its mark, but that 40-43 definitely hitting the target. Now the teams are more or less even at this point. You know, they're tier 9s for tier 9s and a tier 8 per tier 8 artillery, still even. So it is really anyone's game at this point. Minnow only having 1 kill, but you know, he's doing his best as artillery. There are some matches as Arty where you cannot contribute all too much. Now there is a tank destroyer watching that center path, going in one of my favorite spots as a tank destroyer, especially as a turreted tank destroyer, as the T110 E4 or the T30, because you just drive up there, you expose your turret, you take your shot, you back off, and you really have a great amount of mobility and ease of movement there. Object 268 apparently calling someone an idiot, not really sure who he's talking to, and this 40-43 telling his teammates to fall back, because going around that southern pass, like I mentioned earlier, is kind of a death wish. You've really got to, if you're going to push it, you've got to push it fast. Otherwise, artillery will ruin your day. It is not a question of if, it is a question of when. And this E50, Minnow not getting the shot on that, and that Tiger 2 very quickly paying with his own life for that kill. That T62, apparently, I'm gonna take a guess and say he is in the northern area. I'd probably say in Bravo 7, and really kind of giving Minnow a little something to think about. Yes, there he is, the T62, moving in for the kill on that GW Tiger. Will he get a final tank destroyer shot off? No, he will not. GW Tiger getting himself killed, and that T62 apparently taking a round from that 40-43, but I do not know for how much or even if it hit. But Minnow using the strength of the French artillery and getting his tank out of there, getting his SPG to a new location. That is one of the strengths. That is the strength of the French artillery, the fast rate of fire and the fast movement. You can fire from one location, then relocate with with a great amount of ease. You are able to get your artillery piece out of there to a new location and hit the enemy from a brand new spot, and basically shell them in spots they used to think were safe but are no longer. So his team down by 1 kill at this point, 1 tank, and they still have to deal with a Yog Tiger and a Jog E. Yeah, it's not going to be easy by any extent. So that E100, the Yog E coming from the south, you know, that's going to be a hard push to stop. And if that that JT, that Yog Tiger, has any sense of teamwork, he would be pushing that center path at the same time. The Object 704 asking for help, but the E100 coming back to save artillery. Now, they should be safe. I cannot fathom any location where enemy artillery would have a shot on them, at least from their known locations. Play City, Minnow's buddy getting taken out by that Yagi. Not really a surprise there. That thing has an average damage of 1100, so it is nothing to scoff at. Easily able to kill an E75 in 2 shots, and really one of the more terrifying guns in this game. Just to know that in 1 shot, half of your health will be gone or more. So that Yagi continuing to push up unopposed, that 704, in a lot of trouble. So artillery is going to have to save the day here. That Yagi pushing up completely unopposed, that 704, a complete 1 shot for him at this point. And he's really hurting now. That Yagi is gonna get himself killed if that 40-43 can pull in. Like I said, there we go, that Yog Tiger showing some teamwork and actually pushing up at the same time. And here we go, enemy artillery, the Lorraine 155 pushing to the north, actually trying to be a flanking tank, go TD mode, but Minnow will have none of that, basically shutting that artillery down, and it is up to his team. Wow, a second artillery, the GW Panther, functioning as a tank destroyer, and the E100 quickly eliminating that, but now making himself an easy target for the upcoming tanks. It is anyone's game at this point, ladies and gentlemen. That Jog Tiger is going to be a huge problem, but missing his shot, that is probably going to prove fatal for him. And will Minnow get a good hit on him? We'll see how much he gets hit for. But 407 and the E100 finishing him off, but not before that 40-43 dies. It is still anyone's match. It is very close and down to the wire here. That Yog E is in is a one-shot for that E100, who has the I believe it is a 15 centimeter, but that is not important. What is important is that it does 750 average damage, a very heavy hitting gun, and more than enough to finish off that Yog-E. Now, it's going to come down to how Minnow plays and how that E100 plays and what that GW Tiger decides to do. Knowing that artillery, it is very slow moving. The likelihood of it having moved up and that it's playing Tank Destroyer right now is slim to none. But that E100 has backed himself into a position to where he is most likely able to get shot by it. There's no guarantee on that, but if that E100, that GW Tiger is a little to the north, he will have a shot. So I'd say possibly the G line, but if he's moved up to the F line at all, or especially if he's moved to F8, he probably has a shot on that E100, making him an easy kill by that E100. And Mr. Minnow here setting up in an ambush position. GW Tiger potentially trying to move up. The E100 saying move up. I don't agree with that assessment because that Yog-E, while weakened, is not a one-shot for Minnow. I think what that E100 probably meant is, I'm guessing that E100 probably meant move to base. He got traced, yeah. They're talking about his friend, the Object 212, who got himself counter-artilleried by tracers, which are a factor. If there's a lot of artillery, it's probably best to do the shoot and scoot strategy, which is you fire that round and then you disappear. Now, Minnow, I have to agree with this decision right here. This is, people just need to stop talking trash in this game. But Minnow making a wise decision, going artillery hunting. Probably one of the better options at this point, because if that Yog-E kills his E100, Minnow will not be able to finish him off, not in one shot, and chances are pretty good right now that Minnow's best chance at a win is, ooh, this is completely unexpected. Now, I was expecting him to go kill that GW Tiger, which is what I would have done. But apparently going around to flank that Yog-E in the rear, which, oh wow, he is a lot more hurt than I expected. And the Yog-E completely oblivious. Oh my gosh, that was a complete surprise. That GW Tiger not even close to ready for this. And wow, it is, completely with a stock gun too. So slightly less accurate and, excuse me, my throat's getting a little dry here. The GW Tiger completely exposed. Is he going to wait for a better shot, or is he going to take it? He's going to take it and eliminate him. So, wow, just saving the day there. That Lorraine. Ooh, Mr. Minnow, very impressive. What a play. I am personally, like I said, I would have gone to their base and tried to find artillery, but you made the right call. You were at the right place at the right time. And wow, what a play. Just, I am blown away, Mr. But anyway, post-game stats, 875 for experience, credits 19,000, so decent considering the tank he's playing. Well, more than decent, definitely very impressive. And he is not running premium, for those of you who are wondering. So getting himself a decent amount of accuracy, getting 66%, so that is pretty accurate, especially for an artillery piece. But the French tanks are known a little more for their accuracy than the other artillery. So managing to damage 2 and destroy 4. Definitely well played. Battle Hero going to that T62 on the enemy's team. But, you know, sad that no one on his team got it. Still, well played match by Minnow and the SVK2 guys in general. That 212 not really just kind of got unlucky there early on, getting himself counter-artilleried, but it's not really that fast of an artillery piece, so it can't really dodge those shells as effectively. And his E75 friend not managing to really get a kill either, but, you know, that's just sometimes the luck of the draw, or rather in this case, not unluck of the draw, I suppose. Anyway, if you like this video, click that like button. If you want to see more, subscribe, and as always, if you got a replay like Minnow here, send it to spanglereplays@gmail.com. Email will be in the description. This is Spang, signing off.